Hey everybody. I didn't want to do this as a live video because I'm not real sure how I'm going to respond to the things that I tell y'all about. So I just felt like it was better if maybe I do a video first. So anyway, most of you on my Facebook, you already know that I took care of my mom and dad probably about the last 20 years of their life. And I lost my dad August the 2nd, 2016, just 2 days before my birthday. I was so strong, y'all. Like, I was so strong because I had to be for my mom. And I would always just wait until I was by myself to break down. So Mama wanted to try to live on her own, so I helped her get a little apartment, but I still had to go over there every day because I would open her water bottles, or I'd cook her some bacon and put it in the refrigerator, so all she had to do was heat it up. And there at the very end for Mom, and it was totally unexpected. We thought she had a gallbladder issue and she was going to have gallbladder surgery and everything was going to be fine. But when we went to go see the surgeon, he came in the room and he asked my mom, he said, "How much liquor do you drink every day?" And my husband was at the office with my mom, and I was on FaceTime so I could be there too because I was working. Yeah, I was working instead of being with my mom. Anyway, when he asked that question, my husband said, "She don't drink. She's probably never drank a drop of liquor in her life," which I think she's had 1 or 2 mixed drinks or something throughout her life. She used to always love to get the virgin pina coladas because she loved coconut. Anyway, she started getting really, really sick, and I called the family in. I sent them all a message and say, "Hey, I think all of you need to come and see Mom." And one of my brothers made the comment to somebody else that I was just trying to seek attention, that Mom wasn't really that bad off. And when she was in the hospital, he called my other brother, which was at the hospital with me and Mom, and he told my brother that lives in Florida, he told him, he said, "No, she's really sick." And I was kind of hurt that my brother in Florida would say that about me, just wanting attention, because I've never called him and asked him for help with Mom. I've never asked him to loan me money. I've never done anything to make him think that I was trying to just get attention, because I'm just not like that. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not like that. Anyway, so he did come up and see her, I think, a couple of days later, but that time in the hospital, we learned that she had cirrhosis of the liver, and it was not alcohol that did it. It was just all the different medications that she was on. And so she kept getting worse and worse, and then there at the very end, I had home health nurse coming, and one of the ladies was like, "Jeannie, I think maybe you might need to talk to our hospice team at this time." And of course, like everybody, when you hear hospice, you just associate it with death. And I remember them coming to my mom's apartment because I was staying with her 24/7 at that time. And can I also say that I had my work computer with me, and I was working while I was sitting beside my mom. She was dying because I knew I needed my job. I had the only full-time income. I was the breadwinner. But anyway, on a Friday, the hospice people come out. And, man, y'all don't know. I did not want to sign that paper. I didn't. I did not want to sign it. But I knew that my mom was not ever going to recover. And if she did recover from some things, she was never going to be able to live the life that she wanted to live. Anybody that knows my mom, they knew that she would just go, 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 go all the time. I am telling y'all, that lady could shove me under the table, okay? Anyway, I signed that paper on a Friday, and I asked the hospice nurse, I said, like, you've been doing this a while, so how long do you think I have with her? And she said, probably about 2 weeks. 2 weeks? My thought was, I have 2 weeks with my mom. Over the weekend, when they came in to visit again, the hospice nurse told me that I need to let Mama know that I would be okay, because she was probably waiting to hear that from me, because she was with me pretty much 24/7. And we had started her on the hospice medicines, and if you've ever been on hospice, then you know when they stop giving you your everyday meds and then they just start trying to make you comfortable, that it's just a matter of time. And so, I'm sorry, this is so hard to talk about. Mom had all of her children there, and the one brother in Florida who thought I was only seeking attention, he left. He wasn't there when Mama passed away. But I stayed with her. I fed her tomato soup through a dropper. She loved tomato soup. And I would take a little baby medicine dropper and I would put it in her mouth and try to feed her. And it was time to start her medicine. So I told my brother, I said, Binky, you're going to have to give her medicine because I can't. And so I went and I got her medicine and I handed the thing to my brother, and he stood there for a few minutes, and I was looking at him in the face, and I could just tell he was so broken, and I could just tell this was really hard for him, and he was trying to be strong for everybody else, so I couldn't let him do it. I didn't want him to do it. I didn't want him to be sad. So I walked up and I got it from him. And I gave her her first dose of medicine. That night, I pulled a little ottoman over to the side of her bed, her hospital bed, and I held her hand. And I listened to the death rattle all night long. And the next morning, the nurse said when she squinches her forehead up, that means that she's in pain. It's probably time to go ahead and give her some more medicine. So I went and got the medicine, and I knew she was suffering so bad. And so I gave her the medicine, and then I just laid my head down on the pillow beside her head. And I whispered in her ear, I said, "Mama, I just want you to know that I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. And if you see Jesus, I want you to run to him. Don't you walk, you run, Mommy, run to Jesus." And I walked out of the room to go put her medicine back, and as I was walking away, I heard her take 2 deep breaths. And then I seen my sister-in-law, Dee Dee, run by with, the stethoscope so she could listen. So I ran back into the living room where my mom was, and I looked at my brother, and he was shaking his head no. And I said, "Please don't tell me." As soon as I left the room, she never took another breath. There were so many times that I thought, maybe if I hadn't left the room, maybe if I hadn't told her I'd be okay, maybe if I hadn't started her on the medicine, maybe I could have took her to a bigger hospital. Maybe somebody could have helped her. That was the way my mind was thinking, but I knew in my heart that wasn't ever going to happen. And I knew she was gone, and I went over to her, and she had her eyes closed. She had not opened them for about a week. And I felt her, and she was still warm, and I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but I opened her eyes so I could see her beautiful brown eyes, because she gave me her brown eyes. I'm her only brown-eyed baby. And I put my arms around her, and I pulled her to me, and I took her arm and I put it up on my shoulder, because I knew that would be the last hug I would ever get from my mom. She passed away August the 24th, 2021. My brother didn't want me to stay in the room while Bullet Funeral Home came and got her. And so he had me over by the laundry room, and he wouldn't let me look that way. And I thank him for that. I don't know what I would have done without my brother. One of Mom's neighbors that used to always check on her had a key to her house, and she called me down to her house I don't know why she chose that minute to do that, but it was like right after they wheeled Mom out. And I went down to get the key, and when I walked out, I knew that my mom was not going to be in that bed when I walked back in that room. And I was walking down the hall, and the next thing I remember, I was laying on the floor, and I was looking up, and I thought I seen my mom, and I put my hands up because I wanted to reach for her, and that's when I seen that it wasn't my mom. It was the hospice nurse, and she was like looking in my eyes and all kinds of stuff, and I heard her say, "Oh my God, I think she's had a stroke. Somebody needs to call 911." And I was thinking in my head, I was like, "Oh God, now who's had a stroke? I just lost my mom. Now, who had a stroke?" And it was me that she was talking about. But I didn't have a stroke. The doctor had given me some nerve medicine to take because I stayed upset all the time, and she said that that probably is what was causing that with my eyes. I guess all the tears are coming out my eyes, so my mouth is dry. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so anyway, we had my mama a beautiful service, and not very many people came. I know COVID was part of the reason, but I was really a little bit surprised that none of my friends from the Sumter area came. And I had to walk back in the room that day, and I seen the empty hospital bed. The bed was empty. So my husband brought me home because I didn't need to be over there right then. Well, the next day, everybody left. My brother left and went back to North Carolina. And 3 of my sisters left and went back to Alabama. It was just me. And I had to clean her apartment out. And so I would go over there and work, and I would cry, work and cry, work and cry. But I got it empty. And that was in August, and it was around the middle of September before I actually was able to get all of her stuff moved out. And y'all would not believe how many people were asking me for stuff. I mean, I was like literally shocked. My mom wasn't even at the funeral home good before people started asking me for stuff. And I was like, I'm not doing nothing with anything right now until I'm ready. And I did go over and I cleaned out her apartment, and the very first year after my mom died, I don't remember a lot about that year. My son Cody, that's a missionary, he was in the States at that time. He was back from Ecuador, and he was in the States, and he was itinerating to go to their next place, which was Belize, for 4 years. So I made it through my first year of first. My mom loved Christmas, and I didn't even want to put a tree up. But I did, in her honor. And then my sister Darlene, she was always, she couldn't comprehend things very well, and so I was always the person that would help her. And she died. She's the one that I would call when I used to talk to my mom every night. We would talk to each other because we didn't have mom. She died. She died December the 2nd, 2022. And my son left my son left in January to Costa Rica, and then from there he went to Belize, and he'll be there 4 years. So I lost my mom, I lost my sister, and I have another sister in Florida that I didn't know well because we didn't have the same mother. We had the same father, and she died on June the 9th, 2023, and that's my daughter's birthday. So I didn't have her to call anymore, and I don't really know how to learn to live. I was working a full-time job at the time. I was working for a company, home offices in Mobile. It's a construction company, and they were here in South Carolina doing disaster recovery, and I was their administrative assistant, and I had been with them for 4.5 years. I worked and was so faithful to them, even when my mom was in the hospital when she was sick. I knew that I didn't have long to be with her, but I knew I needed my job. I still needed my job. I still need it. So, anyway, I tried to just throw myself into my work so I could just learn to live a new life. My counselor made the comment that grief is like the waves of the ocean. You can't stop them from coming. The only thing you can do is try to find a new way to swim. And I've been trying so hard. And it just seems like every time something good happens, or that things are starting to feel normal, then something else will happen. So, July the 28th, 2023, I was laid off from the company that I was working for. And what's so bad is just 2 of the management team had already told me that I would be working in the Alabama program because my work was remote. I didn't know I was on the chopping block. And my boss, which I thought was also my friend, made a comment about her having my back ever since my mom was sick. No, honey, you did not have my back. I did my job, and I did my job very well. I probably had so many compliments, and I know for a fact that, applicants had sent in letters about me and how much I've helped them and blah, blah, blah. But when I got laid off, it was totally unexpected. There was no severance package, nothing. They called me into a meeting July 28th at 9 o'clock. And as soon as I signed in to the Teams meeting, right away, I seen my direct boss and then our boss, and then I seen the HR lady, who I also thought was a friend. And I knew before they even said anything. So I lost my job. My mom didn't have anything. The only thing that she had was her furniture, which all of it was used and older except for one piece. And then she had her car. And I had the car in her and my name because I drive it a lot because I would drive her around. So I got her car, and it was a 2012 Hyundai Accent. And that's what my inheritance was. And I kept it in the yard, and I would let, the kids use it or whatever if they needed to. And then when I got laid off, which was actually fired, it wasn't laid off, it was fired. The only thing that I had from my mom, I had to sell it so I could pay my bills. I get unemployment. I do. I get unemployment, if you want to call it that. I was bringing home over $800 a week, and now I bring home $270. I'm probably gonna lose my credit. Probably gonna lose my new car. And my job was my saving grace. Is what kept me from losing it. My grandbabies are here, and when they come, it's the only time I really feel normal. But a lot of people have been concerned and asking about me, and it's always hard to talk about. And I just don't want to have to keep telling everybody that asks, because my heart can't take it. My heart is so broken. My direct boss, I thought we were friends. We worked together for 4.5 years. We talked every single day. And I had always gifted her every Christmas with ornaments for her tree, her first house she bought, her engagement, her marriage, and she got pregnant, and this year I was going to do a baby one. But in July, when they laid me off and she was in the team meeting, she never once turned her microphone on so she could say anything to me. And she has not bothered calling me, to say, hey, I had the baby. I named the baby this. I mean, I had a Bible I was going to have the baby's name put on it for. I had a little diaper duty party, and I collected almost $500 for her. And the company we work for didn't offer maternity leave, and so I told her when she went out to have the baby that I would donate my PTO to her. And I had 59 hours of PTO that I was going to give her. And when they laid me off, they're like, we don't like to do this, but we're going to pay you the PTO that you have earned. You can get it all in one check with this week's paycheck, or I can do it separate. And I was like, just do it all in one check. May as well. Y'all, it hurts almost as bad as losing my job as it does that the person I thought was my friend for 4 years actually ended up being nothing to me. She wasn't a friend. She used to call me her local mom. Well, honey, if you treat your friends and your mother, your local mother, like you did me, I don't need or want you as a friend. So, I'm the matriarch. I got some big shoes to fill, y'all. Some really big shoes. Y'all, please forgive me for my appearance. I can't afford to go get my hair done. It's okay. God's always looked out for me and made a way for me, and I have no doubt He'll do the same now. I had to have about $30,000 worth of work done on my house. All the floors were rotted in part of the house from water leaks that didn't get fixed and stuff. So while I was working, I went and got a signature loan to fix my house. Well, yeah, you guessed it. I don't have the money to pay for that loan. No, my husband is on Social Security, but anybody that draws Social Security, you know that's not a lot of money. Okay, so I doubt y'all will watch all of this because it's already up to 31 minutes, but if you are still here listening to this video, that means that you're a friend of mine on Facebook. So that means that I'm so thankful for you. And I just ask that everyone continue to pray for me. I've had to cancel my doctor's appointments because I don't have insurance. Even my heart doctor had to cancel that one too. And it's just really sad that I gave this job every ounce that I could give. Even when my mom was sick, I would do anything if I had those minutes back. If I would have known. If I would have known they were gonna lay me off like that, I would have stayed with my mom. I would have never left her side. I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. I told my mom I could be okay. And I will be okay. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being my friend.